Today we're going to be talking about my reaction to the 780G auto mode. I realized that not many people have put out content about this. It seems that most people don't like Medtronic. They don't like diabetes either. I want to tell you how I've been doing. But first, let's get into this. Previous version of auto mode, we didn't get along. The essentials of auto mode, or SmartGuard, I should say. The essential is you have a sensor, which on me right now is right here. And you can see the graph showing what your blood sugar is doing and the corrections and the basal and meals that you may have taken. For my settings, I changed the settings. I opened up the carb ratio and the insulin sensitivity factor because I wanted to give auto mode as much space to work in as I possibly could, so that it would, during an auto correction, it would assume to make bigger adjustments. Because I've noticed in the past that it put out the least amount possible, and I wanted to make sure that it had enough space to work. Because I opened up the sensitivity factors and the carb ratio, now after several hours, in the evenings especially, my blood sugar would crash because it was over adjusting for what my blood sugar was, which is fine because I knew that it was working. So auto mode was working, so then I started adjusting the carb ratio and the insulin sensitivity factors back up to make sure that we found a happy medium somewhere in the middle. I eventually found it. It was about what I had before. It's recommended by Medtronic that you set your insulin reaction time from 4 hours to 2 hours. It seems to work. I've been on the SmartGuard for at least 3 or 4 months. It hasn't failed me like it did in the past on the 770 and the one before that. I think the difference is that now they have auto corrections, and the auto corrections are what make up the difference. I have been on it and I haven't had any troubles. It's not perfect. It still prefers that you are a perfect diabetic. It's better and has lasted longer for me than all the other times. I've lost my glucometers. I don't know where they are. And usually after you start up from a new startup, it doesn't necessarily need a glucose, but sometimes it'll ask you. So in theory, that would be 1 finger prick a week if everything goes right. At most. At least. No, I don't know. So if you're thinking, it would be nice if I lost my glucometer. It's not nice, actually, but because when I needed it, I was like, where is it? I can't find it. So I've just fiddled with the ABS sensor to see if I could get it to get closer to the rotor that's on the inside that measures how fast you're going. Sleeping time. The only time that I had a big problem with sleeping was while I was trying to make the adjustments to my insulin sensitivity and the carb ratio. Since then, I've had 0 nights. Well, I've had a lot fewer nights where the blood sugar went crashing. That's a benefit. Because if it's gonna go down, it's gonna stop giving you basal along the way so that you aren't crashing. But the other thing is true also, if you're going high in the middle of the night for whatever reason, then it will continue to give you auto corrections so that you don't go high. So the best thing about this thing is the new measurement, instead of A1C to measure how good you're doing, is to measure your time in range. And you can see your time in range on the app. I'll just show you what I've got going on right now. So I'm pretty high right now. I'm at 195, but the arrow is going down. and it's given me a lot of corrections to help bring me back down. It's closer to what a real pancreas does, but it's not, again, it's not perfect. What I think I'm experiencing right now as far as high blood sugar is that maybe the insulin is not working as well as it should. Or maybe my infusion site is too old. My skin is tired in that area. You'll see that this is not perfect. 59% time in range over the last 24 hours. It's not good, but if you are concerned about keeping your time in range, then you will be more careful about the things you eat or the things that you do in order to make sure that it stays time in range. Now, don't get wrapped up in this thing. You can still live life, not worry about your time in range, and just let the pump do its thing. That's totally okay too. And I guarantee that even though whatever your A1C was before, more than likely that you will come down after having the pump take care of your blood sugar levels. When I was using the 770G and the previous version, the constant recalibration and the constant beeping, it was overwhelming. Had gotten to the point where my wife would tell me that my pump was beeping at me instead of me recognizing that my pump was beeping at me. You just get tired. You get tired of all the beeping and you just want it to stop. So I eventually just went off of the sensor just so that I could have peace of mind. Yes, my blood sugars went crazy and my management was horrible, but this is a factor. You have to do this 24/7 every day. Managing your diabetes should not be something that's stressful. It should be something that you are able to take care of without too much worry. So we're gonna start putting this thing back together. I have to put the spring on the bottom of the drum, and then hopefully I'm gonna drive around and see if the error goes away. With this system now, I'm able to share my information with somebody else. So right now, my wife has the Medtronic software on her phone, and she is able to get alerts when things go bad. So if I go low, she's turned off all the other warnings. She doesn't care about those, which is fine. The only one she cares about is the ones where I am low and how low am I going. There was a day where I came home from work, she came home from work, and I was trying to open up some vitamin bottle, the top of the vitamin bottle. She walked over and she was like, "Let me help you." And I said, "I got it." And she goes, "No, your blood sugar is dropping. And it's dropped a lot since we got home. So let me help." That eases the relationship just a little bit. So instead of asking if your blood sugar is low, she already knew that my blood sugar was low because of the alerts that she was getting. You can also connect it to your doctor if they're interested in monitoring your current status. I doubt that would happen. But let's put this thing back together. One thing, this is not a diabetic car repair channel. You'll have to figure out how to fix your own cars. One of the things that I stress a lot is exercise will help to maintain your insulin sensitivity so that while you're exercising, you're creating a better environment inside of your body. Your insulin can process the sugar far better than it could before. Just like what we've been doing with this car. This is the second time I've had to go in and I replaced the sensor once. It didn't work. So I'm fiddling with it to make sure it'll work again, to see if it'll work again. And the same is true with diabetes. Diabetes takes a lot of fiddling, and it takes a lot of time for you to figure out what you need to do in order to make sure that you have decent blood sugars. The doctors, they have an idea, but they also have 1,000 patients that are diabetics. Some of the doctors are not diabetics themselves, so they don't have any comprehension about what you're going through every day. It takes you to figure out what your particular cases are and what things make your blood sugar go up and what things
bring them down. And how you deal with it is going to be what will help you to manage your blood sugars a lot better. If you figure it out, then you have to spend less time at the doctor's office.
So now that the car's down, I just wanted to find out, do you have any suggestions or do you have any questions? I'm not a doctor. I just have tons of experience. You're welcome to ask questions. This is not medical advice. Find somebody to talk to because you are not alone. There are lots of diabetics out there and we've all been taking care of ourselves for quite some time. Some of us pretty well, some of us not. But we do have, as a community, we have the right answers. More mountaintop experiences on the next few videos. See you soon.